Right, listen up, you lot. Ever seen a container ship? Those colossal vessels that seem to stretch on forever. Those big lads dwarfing skyscrapers from your holiday snaps? They're not just big. They're absolutely massive, towering over buildings like gentle giants of the sea. Imagine trying to park one. It's not like parking your car at the supermarket. It's a whole different challenge. We're talking thousands of tons of steel moving at a fair clip. These ships can weigh up to 200,000 tons and travel at speeds of up to 25 knots. Now, how do you think you stop that? It's not as simple as hitting the brakes in your car. A giant foot brake? Sadly, not. The mechanics of stopping a ship are far more complex. These behemoths of the sea, they don't have it easy. They face rough seas, strong currents, and unpredictable weather. They can't just slam on the brakes like your granny's Corsa. It takes a lot more planning and precision. It's a whole different ball game out there. On the open water, the vastness of the ocean adds another layer of complexity. Stopping a ship is a carefully orchestrated dance of physics, engineering, and good old-fashioned seamanship. It requires coordination and expertise. Forget your ABS and EBD, this is proper stopping power we're on about. We're talking about anchors, thrusters, and reverse engines. So how do they do it? How do they bring these massive vessels to a halt without causing chaos? How do you bring these nautical behemoths to a standstill? It's a process that involves multiple steps and a lot of expertise. Well, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of ship-breaking systems. Get ready to explore the intricate details and marvel at the engineering marvels that make it all possible. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say the anchor in the harbor. Anchors are often seen as simple tools, but there's a lot more to them than meets the eye. You might think easy peasy, just drop the anchor and Bob's your uncle. But in reality, the process is far more complex and requires careful planning and execution. Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's not quite that simple. The mechanism involved in deploying an anchor is intricate and requires precision. Think about it. These ships are massive, like seriously massive. We're talking about vessels that can be as long as 4 football fields and weigh hundreds of thousands of tons. Dropping an anchor at speed is like throwing out a handbrake at 100 miles per hour. It's not just impractical, it's downright dangerous. It's not stopping you, it's just going to cause a right mess. The anchor chain could snap, or the anchor could fail to catch, leading to potential disaster. Anchors are more like parking brakes for ships. They are designed to hold a stationary vessel in place, not to stop a moving one. They're used to secure the vessel once it's already come to a stop, not as the primary means of slowing down. The ship must be maneuvered into position first. They dig into the seabed and hold the ship in place, preventing it from drifting. This is crucial for the safety and stability of the vessel. It's all very clever, really. The engineering behind it ensures that once the anchor is set, the ship remains secure, no matter the conditions. Right, so if anchors aren't the primary brake, what is? Well, it all starts with the engines, the beating heart of these nautical beasts. But instead of hitting the gas, we're going in reverse. Think of it like this. You're cruising down the motorway, and you need to slow down. You wouldn't slam on the brakes immediately, would you? No, you ease off the accelerator first. Same principle applies here. When it's time to slow down, the captain signals down to the engine room, and the engineers spring into action. They gradually reduce the engine power and then ever so carefully put the engines into reverse. This creates thrust in the opposite direction, effectively acting as a brake. Section 4, water resistance, putting the brakes on with physics. Now for the bit you science buffs have been waiting for. We're diving into the fascinating world of water resistance and how it helps in stopping massive ships. Remember that thing called water resistance? It's a force that acts against objects moving through water. It's the reason you don't sink like a stone in the bath. Instead, you float or move slowly because the water pushes back against you. Well, it plays a crucial role in stopping ships too. When a ship needs to slow down, water resistance is one of the key factors that come into play. As the ship moves through the water, it creates friction. This friction is essentially the water pushing back against the ship's hull. This friction acts against the ship's forward momentum, helping to slow it down. The more friction, the more resistance, and the slower the ship becomes. The bigger the ship and the faster it's going, the more water it has to push out of the way, and the stronger that resistance becomes. It's basic physics, really. The larger surface area of the ship's hull means more water resistance. But when you're dealing with something the size of a small island, basic physics becomes a force to be reckoned with. The sheer mass and size of these ships make water resistance a powerful ally in bringing them to a halt. It's like trying to run through treacle. Eventually, you're going to slow down. The same principle applies to ships. The water resistance gradually brings them to a stop, ensuring they can dock safely and efficiently. Section 5, Anchors Aweigh. The last resort. Now, we've talked about engine reversal and water resistance, but what happens when you need to stop in a hurry? That's where the anchors come into play, but it's not quite as dramatic as they show in the movies. Dropping anchor at speed is a recipe for disaster. It's like yanking the handbrake in your car at full throttle. You're going to end up with a tangled mess and a very expensive repair bill. Anchors are a last resort, a safety measure used in emergencies or to secure the ship once it's slowed down sufficiently. They're the final piece of the puzzle, ensuring that these maritime giants stay put once they've come to a stop. Section 6, Braking matters, why it's crucial for these giants. Now you might be thinking, so what? It's not like they're racing around out there. But here's the thing, stopping a ship isn't just about avoiding collisions, it's about control. These vessels are like floating cities, and they need to navigate harbors, canals, and other ships with pinpoint accuracy. Imagine trying to park a double-decker bus in a tight spot. Now imagine that bus is 1,000 times heavier and surrounded by water. That's the challenge facing ship captains every day. Without effective braking systems, these behemoths would be at the mercy of the wind and waves, pinballing around like a bowling ball in a washing machine. It doesn't bear thinking about. Section 7, A Safe Harbor, the importance of ship brakes. So there you have it, the fascinating world of ship-braking systems. It's a complex interplay of engineering, physics, and good old-fashioned seamanship. But it's a vital system, ensuring that these maritime giants can navigate our oceans safely and efficiently. Next time you see a ship, spare a thought for the incredible technology that brings these behemoths to a standstill. It's not as simple as it looks, but it's a testament to human ingenuity and our ability to conquer even the mightiest of challenges. And remember, unlike your clapped-out Fiesta, these things don't have an emergency brake. They rely on a well-oiled machine, a skilled crew, and a healthy dose of respect for the sea.